Mythology is rife with tales of gigantic beasts and legendary dragons that our favourite heroes have been forced to defeat, but what makes these creatures interesting is that they have become a symbolic fixture for a myriad of regions across the world. Of course, some dragons have influenced others, and still they have played major parts as gods and demons. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scariest dragons in mythology. Before we begin, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. Let's jump in. Coming in at 5, Vritra from India. Vritra was first mentioned in the ancient Aryan Vedic texts as the main adversary of the Indra, aka the king of demigods. Vritra was an asura, which is a spirit that seeks power and dominance, who was represented as mythical dragon-like entity. Vritra, also known as Ahi, which translates to snake, personified through droughts that imprison numerous rivers and water bodies. However, Indra, who was mentioned before, was the god of thunderstorms and rain, and ended the epic battle between king and serpent by successfully destroying 99 fortresses of the beast, and slew the dragon himself by breaking his jaw into 2, with his power being generated from an enchanted drink called Soma. Following the battle, rivers were allowed to flow free once again. Coming in at 4, Ker from Sumeria. Ker is often considered to be the first dragon and is described as residing in the void above the Earth's layer and below the primal sea. This beast is often related to the Sumerian concept of the underworld, and among its horrid exploits, kidnapped the goddess Ereshkigal by taking her into the netherworld realm. Enki was then given the task to rescue the goddess and successfully defeated the dragon, which is depicted in the Epic of Gilgamesh. After Enlil had carried off Earth, after Ereshkigal had been carried off into Ker as its prize, after the father of Ker had set sail. Against the king, the small ones it hurled, against Enki, the large ones it hurled. Its small ones stones of the hand, its large ones stones of the reeds. The keel of the boat of Enki, in battle like the attacking storm, overwhelm. Against the king, the water at the head of the boat, like a wolf devours. Against Enki, the water at the rear of the boat, like a lion strikes down. End quote. Coming in at 3, Python from Greece. The python hailed from the Slin Delphi and is often depicted as the earth dragon. While other sources claim the entity to be a female offspring of Gaia, the earth goddess, the python was described as being so large that her gargantuan coils stretched around the entire site of the Delphi oracle in order to protect her mother. Not only that, but the python was also counted as one of the pets of Hera, who was of course the wife of Zeus, and thus gave her the privilege to cause harm and destruction to the surrounding lands without punishment. However, her destruction finally came to an end when the Olympian deity Apollo slayed the mythical dragon with his bow and arrow. Coming in at 2, Fafnir from Scandinavia. Fafnir is perhaps the most famous dragon on our entire list, but not our number 1, and you'll see why very soon. Fafnir, according to many stories, began its life as a mere dwarf. He was the son of the dwarf king Craidmar and was responsible for killing his own father to obtain wealth and treasure that was stolen from the Aesir gods. However, after he took the treasure out of sheer greed, he was cursed by Andvaris' ring and gold, which was among the lute, a trick which was played by Loki, thus transforming him into a mythical dragon with armored scales that couldn't be penetrated by regular weapons. However, Sigurd was eventually the hero to slay the beast with his broken sword, Gram, by finding the dragon's weak point along the soft underbelly of the beast. Sounds a lot like Smaug in my opinion. Just saying. Coming in at number 1, Storworm from Scotland. Also known as Master Storworm, this dragon is an evil monster from Orcadian mythology, which are myths pertaining to the Orkney Islands north of Scotland. It's portrayed as having the capacity to cause pestilence and contamination among both plants and animals, and is known to be a glutton, randomly picking 7 victims from nearby settlements for his weekly meal. However, don't fret, in a surprising turn of events, a young boy named Asipatl killed this mythological beast by going inside its belly with a boat and burning the creature's liver. More frightening still, the scope of the dragon goes beyond its tail. Some believe that the monster was an Orkney version of the famous Jormungandr from Norse mythology, aka the world serpent who is predicted to be killed by Thor during Ragnarok. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any dragons that we missed? I'm so sorry if I f***ed up all of the names. These are dragons after all. They're not real. Before I go there, I just want to respond to a few comments from some of our last videos. Peter Quill said, "Why'd you say your words funny?" I don't know. Why do you say your words funny, Quill? And why did you punch Thanos instead of letting the Avengers pull the Infinity Gauntlet off his hand? Tell me that, huh? FX Rodriguez said, "Maybe my crush on Lucy is getting out of hand, but hearing about the end of the world by the modern day Wednesday Addams makes me feel okay with it." Wow, that's the sweetest compliment I've ever received, thank you. Kronos the King said, "Why is saying Lucy is evil such a meme on this channel? As far as I can tell, she seems pretty nice." Oh, Kronos, you must be new here. That's fine. Chrissery said, "Lucy, if you see this, Jack will take his revenge on you. Jack wouldn't dare. Vikings TV said, Lucy invents time travel, leaves this timeline, the world would end, well at least my world. Thank you, that's very true actually. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. Until next time, see you later.